I got contacted today by a journalist who wanted to put a skewed narrative on a course I've created to help disabled people, to help caregivers, to help people that run charities, to help the vulnerable and disabled people. Now, unfortunately, this came at 12. Well, by the time I picked up, it was like nearly 1 o'clock in the morning after I had been in hospital with my mother for about 15 hours at that time. My mother has worked with some of the most vulnerable people in society, way more vulnerable than people that are at the job centre. Literally, she's a walking legend. Quite frankly, if she wasn't, my mum is not public at all. This woman should be given a medal. She really should. The things she's dealt with, the people she's helped, and the people she's really tried to, and has been successful, I will say, in so many ways, mended or sent them on their mended way. And I am now really reflecting from the time when my mum was a working woman, because now she's nearly 80. So that would have been in her 40s. So that's a long time ago. We're in 2026. And I'm reflecting on the time that I used to be a resident blogger for one of J.K. Rowling's organisations, where I used to write every single week blogs about being a single parent and austerity, and how the system and how people projected you, like how you were like seen through a certain lens. And I'm thinking this lens runs deep into people that have disabilities and health conditions. And then I reflect on the message I had from the Sun on Sunday or whatever it was. Someone from the Sun, a reporter, messaged me with a whole load of skewed narrative on how he wanted to swish my recent course into, apparently that isn't about helping disabled people. Evidence their disability, apparently that's all about fraud now. Apparently helping disabled people is fraud, you being a fraudster now. And I kind of like, at this time of the night, after so many things, seeing my mum nearly dying, to being in an ambulance, to being in A&E, to seeing screenshots from my audience telling me that, they don't have a spleen, or they don't have a leg, or they don't have a walking stick, and they're being told by PIP assessors, disability assessors, that they do. I just think, I wish I could say where, like, that this is a passage and it will pass, but it's not. I'm 53, and when I used to write for austerity for J.K. Rowling's organisation, I was like 25. Nothing's changed in 25 years. And that is why I created the brands I've created, why I created the Justice Journals, why I created Leading Languages at the time, why I created Baguette Bear. I am someone that will want to break the narrative. I will want to break the stereotype. Nobody wants to be disabled. Nobody wants to be left alone to raise children after they made them in love. Nobody wants to be in these shit situations. So when you find someone that wants to help you, that wants to uplift you, that wants to share their knowledge to make your life better, so you can be a better person, so you can go forth, why is that a shit thing? Why is that a shit thing today in 2026 to do? Like, why? I will say through tiredness, I'm feeling like a little bit lucid right now, because I just think, you see all of these nurses and these wonderful healthcare assistants, and shout out to the hospital. My mum had the most wonderful nurse. She was from Nigeria, and she was lovely, and she spent so much time talking to my mum, and she was just so lovely. I can't say the hospital name because I don't want to put my mum or anyone else, I don't want to release that information, but you were so lovely. You were so lovely. And I just think there are different cultures that really understand and respect like ill health and elderly people. In the UK, we are fucking failing that. We are failing ill health, people with disabilities. We are failing elderly people. My mother has worked all through her life. My mother worked for some of the top psychologists of the UK. My mother's been fucking amazing. And if you knew the things she had to go through or she was going through at the time that she was doing that, you would say, Jesus Christ, this woman should be given a flipping medal of whatever that exists, you know? We do not look after our elderly well enough in the UK. We do not look after our disabled and our ill people well enough in the UK. And some of the most impoverished countries look after those types of people better. And we are meant to be a country that's meant to be rather wealthy. So where in the fucking grace of God go I? That is like, I don't know. I am bamboozled by so many things right now, and it makes you kind of like, it gives your head that wobble, and you're like, what? You know, some of these nurses in the NHS, I ask them because they are so lovely in personality, lovely in character. And I said to them, like, we've been sitting here like 9 hours, respectfully. Like, I'm so grateful that you've been so kind and offered us like tea and da 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 da. How many steps do you do a day? Some of them are doing 25,000 steps a day. 25,000 steps a day. Now, my mum was in a wonderful hospital. It was brand new. It was lovely. But do you know where we spent the majority of the 12 hours? We spent it in a corridor. And it was lovely. Like, it was all brand new. It was lovely. And the staff were lovely. The staff were lovely. They were amazing. But the reason why my mum and me had to spend 12 hours in a corridor was because they'd been given funding to build the hospital or improve the hospital, but they hadn't been given funding for the nurses and the medical staff. And I'm just going to say here that Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, earns £170,000 a year. His 6 deputies earn £160,000 a year. But the nurses that are saving people, the nurses that are sat in corridors and walking between corridors doing 20 and 25,000 steps a day, they're being paid about 30 grand to keep the people that you love alive, to help you when you've been driven into at 60 miles an hour in a car that you never saw coming. They're being paid like a really shit wage. And I just sit here sometimes in the stillness of everything I have to deal with between, you know, looking after my loved ones, running a business, helping people that ask me to help them. And I just sometimes wonder, where is a balance? You know, sometimes it goes beyond intellect, it goes beyond spirituality. I just wonder, where is that balance of right? Where is it? And can we just, if you've managed nearly 9 minutes to get past this video, just try and be a really decent person, because, you know, in your moment of need, there will become a time in your life, in your moment of need, that you are going to be wishing you had someone that had more than money in their mind, that had morals, that had kindness, that had the things that you really hold so dear for yourself and your loved ones. So start showing it. Please start showing up for that and for those people that represent that.